In this lesson, I'm going to break down how we approach filming a wedding day from start to finish. I will walk you through how we move through the day, how we make decisions, how we approach different parts of the wedding, and how all of it connects into one beautiful film. This is a real breakdown of our process, exactly how we work on the actual wedding day. Let's begin. Getting ready is one of the most important parts of the wedding day. This is the moment when people are still adjusting to the space, to the camera, to each other. In this lesson, I want to show you how a filmmaker thinks before the first intentional shot, not in theory, but through real wedding scenarios. When we arrive at the getting ready location, we are strangers at first, so not the filmmakers yet, and that's fine, because people see us for the first time and they don't know who we are, how we move, how close we can get to them, and basically they need time to adjust and to adapt. So we come calmly, we say hello, introduce ourselves, then we place our gear, and usually it's somewhere in the corner where it doesn't block anyone, and it's important that the gear is not on your visual field as well while you're filming. During the first minutes, I'm not trying to capture hero shots with the bride. I let people simply relax. I might assemble the camera slowly, I might shoot from the far away. I'm using lenses such as 85mm, 135 or 70-200. For these scenarios, they work perfectly, so people are in the distance and you capturing some movements. So some of these shots won't make to the final film, and that's completely fine, because the goal here is not to make the beautiful content yet, the goal here is the comfort. Before I really start filming, I always ask myself 3 questions. So question number 1, where can I place the person for a clean background? It's very important, because before I shoot a person, I look behind them. So I might see a wall, a curtain, a doorway, the edge of the room. That works perfectly. Question number 2, where is the light? Because our best friend during getting ready shoot is window light. It's soft, it's large, and it's flattering, beautiful for the skin tone. And very often it can be controlled with a curtain. Question number 3, where is my position? I never stayed straight in front of the bride for the whole time. Sometimes I do for the few shots, but I always look for the side angles or a diagonal position, somewhere I can move quietly without interrupting the moment while she's getting ready or interacting with her bridesmaids. So most getting ready locations fall into a few categories: hotels or venues. So let's start with the hotels, because they're most common ones. Sometimes minimal and calm, sometimes crowded and chaotic. The first thing you identify is how clean or messy the space is and where the best light source is. So venues, houses and estates, they usually give you more space and sometimes outdoor access, which is a huge advantage because you can have a more creative freedom there. So some rooms are film calm and minimal as well, some are upside down, and that's why finding a good corner with the beautiful light, with the clean background, it's very important during getting ready. One of the biggest mistakes is filming the bride too early. Before makeup is finished, I usually focus on the wide shots and on the atmosphere of the entire space. I avoid close-ups at that moment, because close-ups at this stage make people uncomfortable. Once makeup is almost finished and we are just doing final touch-ups, that's when I really start filming the bride. At this time, you can ask to move makeup chair closer to the window light, do some shots with the spray, as well as hero shots with the bride. So let's dive into real examples. Let's start with the hard situations, because they happen all the time. Not every getting ready location will be beautiful, and not every room has a big windows with a huge ceilings. Very often the light is simply bad, and this is normal. What matters is not the location, is how you read the light and how you react on this situation. Let's look at this cottage house. Small rooms, small windows, very limited natural light. If I had played the bride facing this same direction where the bridesmaids are standing now, with a deep patio door behind her, the image would feel flat. So instead of fighting this space, we looked for a different option. If I had stayed inside this small cottage and tried to solve everything within these walls, these shots wouldn't be beautiful. So we look for another option, this door. So we remove the dresses, open the door, and suddenly the room filled with the light. Now look at the difference. We place the bride in the center, open the door in front of her, lifted the curtain behind her, and open another window on the side. Now the light comes from the front and from the behind. The entire room is flooded with a soft light, and once that happens, they can do almost anything in this space. Even in a very small cottage, look how the bride stands here. How clean and calm she looks, despite the size of the room. Here another similar situation, we have a small space, limited light, and the bride is sitting on a couch, so basically this is just the one spot that we have here. What matters most here is she's turned toward the light. This changes whole picture. We simply ask her to face the window, and now the light hits her face, falls onto her hands, her shoes, and her jewelry and other details. So everything just looks much more cleaner and much more beautiful. The closer you are to the light, the better everything looks. Now look at this mom. She walks out of the room and suddenly the light becomes very ugly. It looks very amateur because here we have a mixed light situation. Window behind her, lamps everywhere, different color temperatures. This is why this doesn't look cinematic. The left side of her body is lit by the window light and the right side in the shadow, and on top of that warm artificial lights everywhere. This creates messy amateur looking light, but this moment stays in the film because the emotion is real here. This is important to understand. Sometimes the light is bad, but the emotion is stronger, so it has more value, have more weight. Now let's jump to a completely different scenario. Let's look at the castle location in New York. It's beautiful architecture, huge windows, lots of light. At first, the bride is standing with the window behind her, so same scenario. So yes, the room looks impressive, but her face is not lit yet. Once we turn her toward these windows, everything changed. Now you see her face, her dress, her hair, any details on the dress, as well as jewelry, rings, everything starts shining and looks cinematic. Here the same location, just with another bride. And notice how the bouquet visually connects with the paintings behind her. Objects in this space starts working together. We are not just filming here, we also composing. In another room, at the same location, the light is much stronger and more directional. So we let her move, we let her spin, and look what happened. The light shapes her body, her dress starts to glow, and everything feels alive. We can even shoot again the light here, and yes, the lens flares, yes, details disappears, but it feels dreamy, and this is not a mistake when you do it with purpose and intentional. Now we walk into the groom's room. Very dark space. The first thing I look for the window. The window is my softbox. I don't shoot against it. Same thing, I put the groom facing it because the light draws his face, his jacket, his movements. So compare this to when he's sitting in the shadows. For the next shot, I turn off the artificial light, I remove the yellow lamps, and I keep the frame clean. If I could just remove this trash can, that would be perfect. If not, it's black, it doesn't distract too much, let's just move on. Now Brooklyn, we have a loft here. It's huge windows, light everywhere, huge ceilings. This kind of light is a gift. As soon as we place the bride facing the window, her skin becomes softer, her face becomes sculpted, and we can shoot wide shot here, we can shoot medium shot, details, because this space allows us to do this. Look how bridesmaids moving naturally here, because sometimes they don't know even what to do and they get confused when we direct them and they start laughing. That's perfect, because not everything needs to be polished. Real moments are always better than focused ones, simply because they feel relaxed. Before we move on, let's just simplify everything you just saw. So it feels clear, it doesn't feel overcomplicated, because getting ready is actually very simple. You walk into the room and the first thing you do is look for the window, because 80 or 90% of your getting ready footage will happen around the one source of the light. So find the best window, turn the bride toward it, turn off all artificial lights around her, and that's your base. Then play with the angles. Don't stand straight in front of her for the whole time, move to the side, find diagonals, move position of your camera, sometimes slightly lower, sometimes slightly higher, because it gives dimension, it gives different perspective. And after that you can add atmosphere, wide shots, medium shots, details, the dress, ring, hands, shoes, small movement that works perfectly, and pretty much that's it. Now let's move to the next part, the first look. First look is about placement. Most first looks happen in the middle of the day, when the sun is high and the light is harsh. So the first thing we look for is a shade. It could be a tree, a garden, the side of a building, anywhere with even soft shadow. And here's a very important rule. Always check the bride's and groom faces. If you see the light spots coming through the branches, you need to move. Otherwise faces will look patchy, and that kind of light is impossible to fix later on in post-production. Sometimes an indoor option works better, a beautiful hotel lobby, a hallway, or a quiet interior space. Just make sure there isn't too much foot traffic, and if needed you can ask assistants or coordinators to pause people for a moment. So this is very common and completely normal. Once the location is set, we position the groom and bring the bride in from the behind. So there is no single right way to do this. Sometimes she taps him on the shoulder, sometimes he turns on the countdown. Photographers often lead this part, and that's fine. What matters is not the ritual, what matters is that everyone feels relaxed and knowing what's happening next. For the first looks, I prefer two camera setup whenever it's possible. It allows me to capture both reactions, bride and the groom, at the same time. Here's how I think about it. Camera 1 is placed at about 45-degree angle in front of the groom, not straight on, slightly on the side, so we can see clearly her face and her reaction. And camera 2 is placed on 45-degree angle on the opposite side, so when he turns we can clearly see his face. Think of this as a cross-angle setup. One camera tells the groom story, the other camera tells the bride story, and together they're telling the full story. You can stay on the tripod with 85mm, 135 or 70-200, that's perfectly fine. The second camera can be handheld or on a gimbal, so the key is movement. Small steps are forward and back are more than enough because we are not shooting a music video. Too much movement can break the intimacy of the first look. And always record continuously, don't stop the camera. Once they see each other for the first time, very often the most honest moment happens after the initial reaction. A few quiet words, a laugh or a deep breath, the hug, these moments are gold for the final video.
You like it?
Holy shit, yeah. Jesus. You look incredible. Wow.
And if it's possible, I'm sure it's possible, you can put the lavalier microphone on his lapel. Small phrases often becomes an emotional anchor in the final film. And I would avoid over-directing, don't ask for repeated reactions and don't rush the moment. Once it's done, respect it and move to the next part, to the ceremony. A ceremony is not the place to experiment. Your job here is simple. Cover everything and don't miss anything. The most important setup for ceremony is dedicated master shot. So this camera records the entire ceremony from the start to the finish. At the church I usually place it at the last row, and if it's not a church I place it where the last chair ends. Balcony, stairs or elevated platforms are even better if available. The camera doesn't have to be perfectly centered, a slight angle is completely fine. The goal here is a clean, wide master shot of full entire space. I always let photographers know, guys, I know you are professionals, but I have a third camera here recording the entire ceremony. Please be mindful when you guys passing by, don't stop in front of it, and if you need to take 1 or 2 shots, that's completely fine. And this conversation is crucial because you don't want to have someone standing in front of your master camera for the entire ceremony. If you have two videographers for the ceremony, that's perfect, because one shooter focuses on the bride, the other shooter focuses on the groom during the ceremony, and both they stand on opposite sides. It's clean, simple, controlled, and you have a master shot on the back. So this situation is the goal. If I'm working solo, I move carefully on the gimbal. Before the ceremony starts, I always ask who is reading the vows first. If the groom goes first, I start on him. Then I transition to the bride. I move along the front row during the ceremony, and that's completely okay. You don't have a time to run around the venue during the ceremony. So the front row always are good because you can get the reaction of the parents, grandparents, and the bridal party. From there you can switch between the couple, guests, emotional moments. You can work from a tripod, or you can be on handheld or on the gimbal. The key is stability. Usually when I'm working solo, I'm using gimbal all the time. And always guys, place lavalier mics on the groom and officiant. And before the ceremony begins, also connect an audio recorder to the DJ or sound system, because this gives you a clean vows, officiant audio and readings during the vows. You can fix a bad shot just by switching the camera angle, but it's hard to fix a bad audio. Most ceremonies follow the same logic. Stay on the side aisle, respect space, and move calmly. Let's move to the Jewish ceremony. Chuppahs are often crowded and blocked by people. You need to find an angle where you see the couple and rabbi and the structure itself. These setups not always ideal for us as filmmakers, but the goal here is the coverage, not the perfection. Hindu ceremonies are ritual heavy and often centered around the fire, so they could last for an hour, hour and a half. What you need to have? Again, you need to have a master wide shot and a side 45-degree angle on the bride side and on the groom side, or move on the gimbal if you are working solo. Sometimes the best position is near the center of the aisle. Just stay aware of the photographers and don't block anyone on each other way. So put your camera sometimes a little bit left or a little bit right from the aisle, and you can get a nice view if you have master shot somewhere on the side. This combination will give you a beautiful picture on the post-production. This is important and cinematic because when the ceremony ends, I move to the center of the aisle with my gimbal and I follow the couple as they walk out. So just before that, I quickly remove my master shot camera from the middle of the aisle somewhere to the side, so we no longer need this camera. Then I move back to the center of the aisle and walk out with the couple on the gimbal. Smooth, clean, cinematic. And this moment often becomes one of the strongest transitions in the film because there's so much energy there. They're happy, they just got married and people are cheering them while they're walking out. So this is one of the best moments during the ceremony. A ceremony doesn't need a creativity, it needs preparation, good audio and calm execution. If you cover everything cleanly, the post-production will be so much easier, guys, I absolutely promise you. Cocktail hour is the moment when everyone is finally relaxed. The pressure is gone, the ceremony is over and drinks are in the hands. So this is where real energy appears. Cocktail hour is one of my favorite parts of the wedding day because people are no longer tense, they start enjoying themselves, and very often cocktail hour happens during the best light of the day, during the golden hour. So imagine soft evening sun, warm tones, beautiful venues and decor. So this light does a lot of work for you, you just need to film it. And just like the other part of the day, I always start with a wide shot. Where is cocktail hour actually happening right now? Could be a garden, terrace, courtyard or indoor space. This establishes the scene and gives context for everything that follows. Cocktail hour is all about the people. Conversation, laughter, reunion, people didn't see each other for a long time and suddenly they bump. Hugs, smiles, glasses clinking. These are the best shots for us as videographers during the cocktail hour. I love using longer lenses during the cocktail hour. 70-100, 85, 135mm perfectly on a distance. These lenses let you observe from a distance and capture real moments without interrupting them. At this point you are watching and reacting, you don't need to direct. Also, you can shoot bartenders pouring the drinks, wine flowing, cocktail being made, close-up of the glasses, hands, eyes, liquid movement, maybe even initials with the bride and groom first names on a napkin. These shots always natural and add a rhythm to your edit. So if the space is dark during the winter, for example, you can use a small flashlight. You can highlight a drink or detail. It's simple, it's clean, and it's very efficient. Bartenders pouring the drinks, wine flowing, cocktail being made. This is the best, and this will add so much spice to your video. So cocktail hour is also the perfect time to capture details, flowers, decor, and design elements created by wedding planners. And after that, you can return a good and highlight for the wedding planners with their decoration, and they will appreciate you so much. And also, guys, one important point you should always capture: it's when the couple enters the cocktail hour, because guests see them as a husband and wife for the first time, and imagine how they react. They drink, they congratulate them, drinks raised, and this is beautiful natural reactions for our wedding video. Cocktail hour is about the atmosphere, warm light, relaxed people, real moments. And if you capture that naturally, your film will feel alive. And let's move to the next part, is wedding reception, speeches. After the ceremony and the cocktail hour, guests are seated and the first course meal is served. And that's when the speeches usually begin. And this is your moment to slow everything down and switch into a full control mode. The cleanest and most cinematic setup for me, guys, is when the couple and a speaker is visible at one frame. If there is a sweetheart table, I usually ask the planner, would it be okay if the speaker stands here or there, on the bride side or the groom side, so we can keep the couple in the frame. This makes your job much easier and your footage much stronger. People love to walk while they speak. That's why microphone stand is very important. A mic stand gently lock the speaker into one position without feeling forced. Make sure the microphone is not directly in front of the speaker's face. It should be slightly lower. A mic blocking the face ruins the whole shot. Always check with the DJ and ask, can you help me adjust the microphone height during the speeches? This small detail makes a huge difference. And always look what's behind the speaker. It could be LED panels, speakers, flashing lights. These destroy your footage completely. If the wedding planner put the speaker in a bad visual spot, it's completely okay to suggest a better location. One light is enough during speeches, you don't need to overkill. A single key light like Emerald 60X placed higher than the eye level and a light slightly down toward the speaker. It will create a clean, even exposure and flattering light on the skin. If you have a second light, you can place it behind the speaker as a backlight. This creates a soft rim of light around head and shoulders. Just important, you guys probably not gonna have time to match two lights, but if you have second shooter, he can definitely help you with that. I always use the lens hood. Without it, the backlight can flare into your lens and ruin your shot. If you don't have a hood, block the light with your hand or small cardboard, whatever, old school, but it works. Or don't use a backlight at all. Ideal multi-camera setup. So one camera stays locked on the couple and speaker on the tripod. Could be 20mm, 35mm. This camera runs continuously. A second camera focuses on the speaker itself. So close up with the 85, 135, 7200 works perfectly. Sometimes speaker stands up and talk from wherever they are. In this case, one camera stays on the couple locked on the tripod. The second camera follows the speaker on a gimbal. And always be ready to move. Speeches don't stay always at one place. A father might walk in singing directly to the bride across the room, and this moment happens. You just need to be alert about it. If you're on a gimbal, follow calmly, don't panic and stay smooth, because the audio is the most important element here during the speeches. And actually, let's talk about the audio. Make sure you are recording the DJ feed. This is your cleanest source. So just come and say, hi, I'm the videographer, my name is Lev, and I would love to capture master sound from your DJ board. Speeches are emotional, but they only work on film if they're clean and controlled. So good positioning, good light, stable coverage, and if you get those right, the edit becomes easier and the moments land. So now you guys know how to record the speeches. Let's move to the fun part, to the reception dances. So the dance floor is all about the energy. The first 30 to 45 minutes are the most important because right after the speeches, when the dance floor opens, people are at their peak. They're excited, they're alive, they're ready to move, and that's where you get the strongest footage for your wedding film. After the speeches, don't turn off your light immediately. Reception lights are often bad or doesn't exist at all. This is normal. I simply rotate it toward the dance floor and keep it on for at least 30 to 45 minutes because people are already used to this light and their eyes are adapted. After the first wave, later you can dim the light, reduce intensity by 20 or 30%, or turn it off completely. Let the people enjoy the night, but at the beginning keep the light on. Many dance floors have decorative lights, guys, and these lights are flicker. Always check your shutter speed to align with their frequencies. So 150, 160 and 100 shutter speed, it usually removes flicker completely. Always carry a small LED panel or flashlight with you, because after an hour or two you don't want to keep this big light on for the entire reception dances. So with the small light you can step in close, light their faces while they perform some dance activities there. On the dance floor, people expect cameras. You are part of the party by this time, and don't be afraid to move through the crowd. Go into the center, shoot close, shoot from the distance, go between the people, and that's completely normal for the wedding reception dances. A wide lens works beautifully here. 20mm lens from the low angle will elevate your footage for sure. So you can shoot from below, from the side, right at the action. These shots feel alive and raw. If there is a stage, and sometimes they have a music band there, you can use their stage. For the big group dances like in Jewish Aura, you can step on the stage, you can set a tripod or stay handheld and capture the full scale of the aura. So vendors usually support each other, they're working towards the same goal, and no one's going to mind if you're going to step on their stage. So usually music bands are pretty cool. This is where your creative freedom opens up, because on the dance floor there is no strict rules, and unlike the ceremony, this is where you can play with your camera, with your light, and with your creative freedom. Try slow shutter speed like 115, 1.8 or 120. You can use a small light, let motion blur happen. This creates a dreamy effect, energetic look. Also, you can move with people. If someone jumps, move with them, forward, back, follow with your camera. If you work with another videographer, you can split angles. One shoots from the one side, the other shoots from the opposite side, same moment. Two perspectives, and they cut beautifully on the edit. The dance floor is messy, it's loud and emotional, and that's exactly why it works. After a wedding reception, you drive back home so much elevated. I absolutely promise you guys. That's a full breakdown. This is how we think through and film a wedding day from start to finish. But honestly, the coolest part about this whole thing is that you found this video, because if this way of thinking resonates with you, you're already tuned into something deeper, and this is exactly why we created The Flow. The full program is $499, and for that investment we break down our vision, taste, color grading and vanilla film editing structure, music selection, and how to build emotion that makes people want to book you. We also cover working with both regular and premium clients, email communication, Zoom calls, pricing your work and raising your rates with confidence. We cover positioning and lead generation, how to create a consistent flow of inquiries and how your website should function as a conversion tool. There is also very practical knowledge about destination weddings, travel logistics, permits, insurances and things most people only learn after years of mistakes. To turn all of this into real progress, The Flow includes a workbook, a structured framework to track your growth daily and apply what you learn in the practice. Because you are watching this video, you have access to our internal code, The Flow Insider, which brings the price down to $450. This code is not public and available only for a short time after watching this video. If this approach makes sense and you're ready to move forward with structure, The Flow is open for you. The link is below and we'll be happy to have you inside.